Around 5 years ago, I had a burnout. What basically happened was that my body just completely shut down and said no more. And as much as it had been building for a long time at that point, at least probably a year or two, it still came as a surprise to me. One day I just couldn't keep it up any longer, and all I could do for months and months basically was sleep. This was a little over 5 years ago, and my recovery took a long time, around 2 years. I do feel mostly recovered now from my burnout, and I'm doing very well, but I still know and feel that I need to take really good care of myself and respect my own limits and boundaries to prevent falling back into it and possibly burning out again. So in today's video, I want to share with you what life after burnout looks like for me, how I'm taking care of myself, how I'm doing, how I'm staying within my own boundaries when it comes to work and other responsibilities and activities in my life. And I want to share with you my mindful productivity tips in the hopes that they can also help you to stay balanced and healthy and happy. Welcome back everyone, and if you're new here, this is a place where you can get tips and inspiration for living a simpler, happier and calmer life. So be sure to hit subscribe if you haven't already to follow along whenever I post a new video. I wanted to make today's video so that it can be helpful for anyone who's watching who had a burnout like me before, or who's maybe currently going through a burnout, but also for those of you who feel like maybe you're not doing so great currently, or that you're possibly even close to burning out. I know how helpful it was for me to listen to other people talk about burnout while I was going through it, so I just wanted to contribute to that as well. But I think the tips that I share here today will be helpful for anyone who's watching, because mindful productivity is about getting things done in a way that is in alignment with your mental, physical and emotional state. So it means being present in what you're doing, knowing and respecting your natural limits so that you can be productive in a way that is sustainable to keep up doing long term without burning yourself out in the process. And while my burnout had to do with a lot more than just work, there were also several personal factors involved in my life at the time that all contributed to me getting to that state. Now that I am working again and I am being productive again, these tips help me to get everything done while also taking care of myself so that I can find balance. The first thing that my burnout helped me to realize is that there's no such thing as continuous balance. And that is important because one, it means that being mindful of not doing too much or too little will always be important to prevent burnout. And second, because even if I kind of mess up and cross my own boundaries for a while, I know that there is a chance for me to recover from that as long as I listen to my body, listen to the signs and choose to respect them. I used to think of balance in life as being this state that you could get to, so as long as you did certain things or you had certain self-care habits in place, that you could get to that state and then always feel balanced. But I've learned that it doesn't really work that way. Life changes, my energy shifts from week to week. Some weeks I have much more energy, some weeks I have much less energy. Also, life sometimes requires a lot more in terms of productivity when things are suddenly very busy, or it throws a bunch of curveballs your way. And other times there's this kind of lull when things are very slow and might even feel a little boring. So between life always changing and me myself always changing, there's no one state of balance that I can get to where I will always feel happy and healthy. So this means that the biggest thing for preventing burnout, or in my case, life after a burnout, is being present and aware of what's going on and listening to the signs and knowing them well. Because when you pay attention to the signs that your body is giving you, you can more quickly make changes in your schedule or your to-dos or the things that you expect of yourself to fit the current state of how things are for you. So pay attention to how you're feeling mentally, physically, emotionally. Teach yourself to first notice these things, and then to second, to be able to not place any labels on these feelings as being good or bad. So often we view not being productive because we are too tired as a bad thing, but it's really not. It's just what happens. Everyone feels tired sometimes. It's normal and it's perfectly okay. As long as you notice these things and pay attention to them in a mindful way, it's easier to listen to them and maybe change some of your plans accordingly. accordingly. Get some more rest if you feel like that is what you need. Go out and do something fun and exciting and new if you feel like that is what you need. Of course, we all have jobs and responsibilities that we cannot just simply stop whenever we feel like it. But there is so much more around that we do have control over, and that is where you can focus on. By the way, it's a weird day in terms of lighting. The sun is moving in and out, so sorry for the changes in the video. Don't ignore the signs. That is basically the most important thing. If I hadn't ignored the signs that my body was giving me 1.5 to 2 years before I eventually just shut down completely, it probably wouldn't have been that bad, and it might not have taken me 2 years to feel somewhat okay again. Not everyone is built to work full-time and then also do all of the other things that you see other people do, hold all of the balls in the air at the same time. And if that applies to you, then that does not make you a failure. Number 2 that I want to talk to you about today is knowing the difference between when to push yourself and when to let go of the expectations that you have of yourself. Some days when it comes to being productive, I just don't feel good. I feel tired, low energy, no motivation, no inspiration. But when I sit down behind my laptop and I push myself a little bit, suddenly I start to feel better and I get into this flow and I can get some work done that I feel really good about. Other times, however, no matter how much I push myself, it's just not working. And that's when I just need to let go of any expectations that I had in terms of what I wanted to get done. Listen to the signs, listen to what it is that I actually need, and just do that and wait until I feel better. And this isn't always easy, especially now that I'm working for myself. On the one hand, it gives me much more flexibility and freedom, for which I'm very grateful. But on the other hand, if I don't work, I don't get paid. And I always want to make sure that I have a video ready to be published every Saturday. But some weeks I just cannot make it happen. I don't have the energy. So there's always that push and pull. But I think everyone has these moments sometimes when you're just feeling in a rut and you're not feeling motivated to go do something. What you need then is activation. Get things moving, maybe move your body or go outside for a walk or do something like an activity to get the juices flowing and get in that mindset of being productive and getting things done. Whereas other times what you need is not activation, but rest. So it's very important to know the difference between these two and act accordingly. Basically what I do when I feel this way, sometimes I will immediately know is one of those days where I really feel kind of bad and very tired and I need to just let go of any expectations and rest and do what I need to do to feel better. On other days, I try to push myself to just see what happens. So if I start feeling better after pushing myself a little bit, I just keep going and I do the productive things. And if after trying for a couple of hours, I only feel worse and worse, then I know it's the second kind and I just need to take care. Sometimes you need to give yourself a gentle little kick in the butt, and sometimes you just need to take care and do as little as possible. So know that off days or non-productive days are not a bad thing. They are part of leading a healthy, happy, productive life, just as much as the productive days are a part of that. They are required for you to feel good. So take advantage of those weeks when you're not feeling your best to just do less and take care and make some extra time for yourself. And if you feel like you could use a little help with recognizing the signs and taking care and being more mindful of these things, then I recommend checking out my 30-day slow living program, which is called Unhurried. I will leave the link for you in the description box. This is a quick little 30-day program where every day you get an email from me with a new lesson that has to do with slow living, checking in with yourself, checking in with your body, and a short challenge that usually you can do within 15 minutes or less. And this can really help you to put that mindfulness, that slow, mindful productivity into practice and really experience the benefits of it in your day-to-day life. So again, link is in the description, and if you have any questions, feel free to ask. One of the biggest things when it comes to slow productivity, mindful productivity, is taking frequent breaks. And somehow this isn't easy for many people. It's not easy for me either, even if I have no one watching me, like when I'm doing work and when I'm taking a break. It's just that when I start working now, I stop noticing anything other than my laptop screen. I forget to eat, to drink, I forget to pee, and I just stare at my screen full concentration, and I forget to take breaks. But we know through all of this research that it's much more effective to work for short bursts of times and then take short breaks. What I like to do now is practice what Cal Newport calls deep work and deep rest. So when I'm working, I'm only focusing on work. No multitasking. I keep my phone far away from me on the other side of the room. No scrolling around on the internet, just purely focusing on the one task that I'm doing. And then deep rest, which means taking a break that is actually restorative. Leaving the desk or the table where you were working, no scrolling on your phone, no thinking about work, just having a cup of tea or having a chat with someone, have a good lunch break. Sometimes if I feel like my head is exploding from all of the work that I've been doing, because my work is mostly mental work, so it feels like that often for me, I take a break by doing some yoga or taking a shower or going for a walk. If you don't take frequent small breaks, it's very difficult to keep noticing how you're feeling because your work distracts you from these things. It distracts you from checking in with yourself. So you need a frequent small break, and you can even do that by setting an alarm on your phone. For every 50 minutes of work, you have a 10-minute break. And if your work does not allow you to take breaks like this, then see if you can maybe sneak in a little break when you grab a cup of tea in the break room, or maybe even take a bathroom break. Another term that I think is very relatable is bore out. While burnout is something that happens usually because of stress or bad work-life balance, overworking yourself, bore out is what happens when you are basically just bored with your work or with your life, where you get no sense of fulfillment from it and everything feels very pointless. And this was 100% what was happening with me back then too, because I honestly was not invested or interested in my own work when I was working a corporate job at all. I had to fake being interested in my work, and that was very exhausting. So prevent bore out by doing fun things, new things, exciting things, scary things. Switch up certain routines or hobbies or interests, but also in your work. If you can make some changes, you don't even have to quit your job or change your job necessarily. That depends on a lot of different factors. But even if you can make some changes within your job so that you can get something back out from it, other than just a paycheck. Now I'm doing something that I genuinely love and have passion for, where I truly feel like I can be my authentic self. And even though I'm working hard and putting in a lot of effort, I honestly put my heart and soul into this thing, I'm also getting so much back from it in return. And that was very different when I was working a corporate job. Things were much easier in terms of finances and security, but I had to fake so much, and that's very different now. And I know that it's not that easy, and not everyone can just choose a job that they love. I feel very lucky and privileged in that sense. But I also think that if your job is not fulfilling you in any way, it's important to find something else in your life that is doing that for you, something to prevent bore out, because burnout can happen not only when there is too much work and too little rest. It can also happen when you just don't get any sense of joy or fulfillment from your life in any way. It can come when the reward for our work or for our life is not enough to make up for the effort that we put into it. So see if you can find some ways to keep things fun and interesting for yourself. And the last thing that I want to talk about today with regards to life after burnout or mindful productivity is the importance of staying positive and to believe that your body knows what it needs to stay happy and healthy, and that it can tell you. And also to learn from the factors that contributed to you burning out or that are currently contributing to you feeling stressed or tired, and to make changes where you can. Everyone's recovery is different. Some people feel better after a couple of weeks or months. Others, like me, take years. My recovery was very rocky. It was always one step forward, two steps back, two steps forward, one step back. And there were times when I truly felt like something within me had broken beyond repair, that I would never fully recover again and that I would never be able to work again. I'm doing a lot better now. I'm back to working full time. I'm actually working more hours now than I used to work in my corporate job. but this time is for something that I love, so it's fine. But it is so important to stay positive and to believe in yourself, to believe that you still have it in you to heal and recover and do the things that you want to do again, because I lost that belief for a while and it really stood in the way of my recovery. There was a time when I really did not think of myself as a healthy person, when in fact I am. There was nothing wrong with me. I was just burnt out. Many people say, and I agree, that you never truly feel the same afterwards. I do feel mostly recovered, but I also still feel much more fragile than I used to feel, and that's why it's so important to also reflect about certain aspects of your life, or maybe certain habits that you had, certain expectations that you had, that contributed to you burning out in the first place, so that you can prevent it from happening again. I would recommend everyone to reflect about these things occasionally, not just people who have burnt out before, to really think like, okay, which habits do I have when it comes to work, when it comes to managing my calendar, when it comes to the expectations that I set for myself that contribute to me feeling stressed sometimes, or tired, or even exhausted? Did I push myself too hard maybe? And if so, why is that? Does my job fit me well, or what would fit better? Which expectations did I set for myself? Do I ask for help enough, or do I expect myself to do everything by myself all the time? And to really think about these things. For me, a large part of my recovery was rest, time, that's it. And also changing my career from a corporate career, deciding to quit that and do something completely different. But also certain habits that I changed, certain expectations that I noticed and changed. I'm really doing a lot of things in my life very differently now than I did back like 5-6 years ago. And what those are for you, I cannot tell you. You are the only one who can know that. So yeah, take care of yourself. Before I let you go, I want to mention a few more things. I have some video recommendations for you. So the first is a video that is up on my Patreon, where I share my whole burnout story. So which things led to me burning out, the symptoms that I had, how I recovered, all of that stuff. So that is on my Patreon that you can join if you want to watch that video. Of course, there are also many other videos up on my Patreon, and I add at least 2 more videos every month there, so the link is in the description. And secondly, a video that I made for YouTube where I shared not really my burnout story, but more like the 10 biggest lessons that I learned from my burnout. So I will leave the link to that video and the Patreon video and the Unhurried Slow Living program in the description box below. Lastly, I want to tell you that productivity, in my opinion, is not the be-all end-all to life. Leading a happy life is. When you're older and you're looking back on your life, I don't think that you are going to be thinking, oh, I wish I was more productive. I wish I had gotten more things done. I wish I worked more. I wish I gotten more to-do lists done every day. You're going to be thinking about all the wonderful times you had, all the memories that you made with the people that you love. So just because we live in times where productivity is valued as this super important, like almost virtuous thing, that doesn't mean that it needs to be important to you in your life. You decide what's important to you. Productivity is great if it allows you to do the things that you want to do, to possibly even make a difference for yourself and others, but it doesn't always need to be pursued on its own. You decide what you value in life, and if productivity does not make it very high on that list, that is perfectly okay. Thank you so much for sticking around till the end of the video. I really appreciate it. And if you want to help me out, then you can do that by giving the video a big old thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And of course, I would love to hear from you what your thoughts and experiences are when it comes to burnout. So please leave that, if you are willing to share, in the comment section down below, so we can continue the conversation there. As always, questions, comments, conversations down below. Thank you so much for being here. Have a wonderful day, and I will see you again next week. Bye bye.